Hey everyone, welcome. So we're the developers behind WP Optimal State, and we wanted to talk to you directly. We built this tool because, honestly, we're just like you. We manage WordPress sites, and we know that sinking feeling of watching a site that used to be lightning fast just slow down to a crawl. We didn't want to create just another plugin. We wanted to build a real, logical workflow for getting your site to peak performance and, more importantly, keeping it there. In this explainer, we're going to pull back the curtain and show you exactly how we think and how it works.
It's the big question, isn't it? The one that keeps every site owner up at night. You launch a new site, it's fresh, it's zippy, everything feels great. But then, over time, it starts to get sluggish. Clicks take a little longer, the admin panel feels heavy, and you just have this gut feeling that something's getting bogged down under the hood. Well, it's not you, it's just what happens to WordPress over time. And today, we're going to dig into exactly why that happens, and more importantly, how to fix it for good.
So here's our game plan. First, we'll tackle the problem head-on, the WordPress slowdown. Then, we'll walk you through our core three-step philosophy. After that, we'll talk about something we're incredibly proud of, our unbreakable safety net. Then we'll get into the fun stuff, your optimization toolkit, and finally, how we tie it all together to achieve just ridiculous speed.
All right, let's get into the nitty-gritty. Think about everything you do on your site. Every post you revise, every plugin you try out and then delete, every spam comment, all of that can leave behind little bits of digital junk. Over time, that junk really piles up, turning your once pristine database into a cluttered mess. We like to call this digital drag.
You know, the root of the problem is actually pretty simple. Your database is like a library. When it's brand new, finding any book is instant. But now, imagine that library filled with thousands of old drafts, scribbled notes, and pages just left lying in the aisles. That's exactly what things like post revisions, orphan data, and expired transients do. Every single time WordPress needs to fetch something, it has to wade through all that clutter. And that tiny delay, multiplied over and over, is what you feel as a slow website.
So, to fix this permanently, we knew we couldn't just give you a bucket of random tools. That's just confusing. What you really need is a logical process, a repeatable workflow that makes sense, and crucially, is safe to use every single time. This idea became the absolute foundation for every feature we built into the plugin.
And here is that workflow. It's so simple. Step 1, and this is non-negotiable, is the safety net. Before we even think about changing anything, you create a perfect, verifiable backup. Step 2 is the diagnosis. You can't fix what you can't measure, right? So we analyze your database health to show you what's going on. And only then, once you're safe and you're informed, do you move on to step 3, the solution, where you apply the fixes. Safety, diagnosis, solution. It's that simple, it's powerful, and it just flat out works.
Okay, let's really dig into that first and most critical step, the unbreakable safety net. We knew from day one that if we were going to give you tools powerful enough to clean your database, we had to first give you an unbreakable guarantee that your data was safe. Data integrity is everything, so we obsessed over building a backup and restore system that you could trust no matter what.
This is our absolute mantra. You can't have powerful tools without powerful safeguards. Why is this our first principle? Simple. Performance is completely meaningless if you're worried about losing your data. We want you to be able to optimize and clean your site with total confidence, knowing that you can always hit the undo button. This isn't just a feature, it's the bedrock of the entire plugin.
So how did we make the restore process totally bulletproof? Well, it's not just a simple import. It's a really careful 4-phase operation. First, we check your backup file to make sure it's valid. And then, we take another safety backup of your current live site just in case. Then, and this is the really clever part, we restore your data into temporary hidden tables. Your live site is completely untouched during this process. After we do a sanity check on that staged data, we perform something called an atomic swap, which instantly switches the temporary tables with the live ones in a single all-or-nothing transaction. If anything goes wrong at any point, the whole thing is instantly rolled back. Your site is never, ever left in a broken state.
This quote, straight from our own documentation, really says it all. We literally engineered this system to survive server timeouts, your browser crashing, corrupted files, you name it. It is designed from the ground up for zero-risk data integrity, period. We wrote that because we stand by it 100%.
Okay, with that rock-solid safety net in place, now we can have some fun. It's time to diagnose the problems and start cleaning things up. We designed this toolkit so that anyone can use it. Whether you just want a simple one-click easy button or you want the precision control of a surgeon's scalpel.
The first thing you'll see is your database health score.
Instead of just bombarding you with a bunch of technical stats, we give you a simple, easy-to-understand grade from 0 to 100. This score is made up of 3 key things: performance, which looks at wasted space; cleanliness, which measures all that digital junk we talked about; and efficiency, which analyzes how well your database tables are structured. It's the quickest way to see, at a glance, how your site is doing.
And here are your 2 main weapons for the cleanup. First, you have the one-click optimization. We call it the easy button. You press it, it runs all the safe, recommended cleanups, and you're done. It's perfect for routine maintenance. But for those of you who really like to be in control, there's the detailed cleanup, your scalpel. This lets you go in and target specific things, like only old post revisions from last year or only expired transients. Total granular control.
And this is what happens when you're done. I mean, just look at this. This is a real-world example. Over 1,200 post revisions, gone. Nearly 1,000 pieces of orphan data, just vanished. And look at that database overhead. That's just wasted space. Slashed from over 15 megs down to practically nothing. These aren't just numbers on the screen. These are real improvements that make your database queries faster.
Okay, so at this point, you have a safe, clean, optimized database. Your foundation is solid. But how do we make the site truly fast? How do we make it fly? This is the final piece of the puzzle, and honestly, this is where the real magic happens. Let's talk about our double cache engine.
So, the single biggest bottleneck on almost any WordPress site is that it has to build every page from scratch for every single visitor. It has to run PHP code, query the database, assemble all the pieces. It's just slow by nature. Server-side caching completely flips that on its head. It builds the page once, saves a finished HTML copy, and then just serves that copy instantly to everyone else. It completely bypasses all that slow PHP and database work. It's a massive, massive performance win.
But we don't stop there. We combine that with a second, powerful layer. While the server-side cache makes that initial page load super fast, browser caching tells the visitor's actual browser to save local copies of things like your logo, your style sheets, and your images. So when they navigate to another page, their computer doesn't even have to re-download those things. And the best part? Our smart purge logic knows when you update a post or a page, and it automatically clears the right caches for you, so your content is always up to date.
Now, our free version is extremely powerful on its own, but the pro version is where you unlock true automation. This is really for people who want their site to basically maintain itself. With Pro, you get things like automatic scheduled cleanups and backups, email notifications to let you know it's done, advanced optimization tools, and even an automatic cache preload feature that keeps your site warm and fast 24/7. It really is the set it and forget it solution.
So, what does all of this actually add up to? The safety net, the diagnosis, the deep cleaning, the double caching. What's the bottom line? Well, it's a huge, measurable boost in speed. By combining a squeaky clean database with a really aggressive caching engine, we see users getting up to 90% faster page load times. And that, right there, is the ultimate goal. So if you take one thing away from this, let it be this. WP Optimal State Pro isn't just a random box of tools. It's a complete, logical workflow designed to guide you. It always starts with that unbreakable safety net, moves to a clear diagnosis of the problem, and then gives you the perfect tools for optimization, all of which leads to a seriously faster website.
And we'll just leave you with this question. After seeing what's really possible, take a second to think about your own site. Is it running as fast and as smoothly as it could be? Is your data truly protected by a reliable, bulletproof safety net? In other words, is your website really in its optimal state?